To my channel. In today's video tutorial, we are going to talk about Python file operations, Python file handling, how files are handled in Python. So this is very important topic in Python programming for beginners and those who are already familiar with C, C++, Java or PHP. C and PHP, it is more closer. You can easily correlate. And for other object-oriented programming, you will have the methods in the object. So that is the concept is similar. But if you want to understand, if you are already familiar with C language and Python, PHP, it is more similar in nature. So let us go and deep dive into the topic. File handling is an important part of any web application, not only web application but any of the mathematical applications where you want to extract, store, extract, and then store it back. So a lot of operations are there where file operations will be used in your day-to-day project. So Python has several functions for creating, reading and updating and deleting files. So let us actually check. File handling key function. The key function for working on the files in Python is the open function. So open function takes two parameters, that is a file name and a mode. There are four different modes. One is read mode. That means you will open the file only in read mode. If the file does not exist, that means it will throw an error. Append mode. Append mode means already file exists but you want to append anything. If file does not exist, it will create new file. Write mode. Write opens a file writing, creates the file if it does not exist. And creates the specified file, returns the error if the file exists. Okay, so you have to be if you create a file and the file exists, okay, you will get the error message. So when you are creating the file, you have to utilize file name followed by the mode, either read or append or write or x, that is create. Okay, in addition, we can also specify in the file should be handled as a binary or text mode. So by default we can text, by default it is text mode, but we can actually create in a binary mode also. Primarily this is useful for images. So let us deep dive and see the syntax. Okay, so just for reading a file, you just mention the file name, open a file name, and this is the file handle. Okay, it will return file handle for the open file. Okay, so that means read and text format. Okay, this is the mode we are given, which is a read and a text. By default it is text, you don't have to clearly mention, but that is okay. So let us move forward. Let us deep dive into the Python file open function. Open a file on the server. Okay, so now let us actually try an example. This is already there. There is a content in the file. Okay, it is actually kept as a read and printf. This is open and f read. Read will read the file and print will display the content. Okay, so open a file in a different location. So this is actually created in a different location. Okay, we can give the entire path. Okay, you don't have to open that in the current path. You give the entire path. Okay, so you always give the entire path and it will open the file, and then you can do the required operations. Read only part of the file. Okay, then read the first 5 characters of the file, then you can mention number of characters. Okay, it will only display the number of characters. So if you want to read line, one line, read line, it will be first line, f dot read line. If you want to read the entire line, then you need to utilize a while loop. Okay, otherwise if you read one by one, so it is reading actually one by one, read line, read line, read line. But what is the preferred way? You can utilize a loop to read the file. Okay, now you see for x in f. Okay, so that means it will read each line and then print each line. So we are using the for loop to read each line and print each line for x in f. So the important thing in file handling is, as soon as you have completed your activity on the files, you need to close the file handle. Otherwise, the file handle will creep on adding into the memory, and then your program will be dumped. Okay, so that is very important. Whenever you open a file, you ensure that you close that file. Now let us check right. Just we have written the file, data inside the file, and then we have also closed the file handle. We have read the file, we have opened the file, read the file, and then closed the file, right? So now there are two write to the existing file. One is append and one is a write. Okay, so if you use write mode, it will overwrite the existing, and if you use a, it will append. In C language, if you are familiar, you can use the W plus to overwrite, to append actually, not overwrite. So now let us check this example. We are opening the file demo file.2.txt with the append mode, and then we are adding new file. Now the file has more content. Okay, and then we are closing it, and then okay, so this is printf afraid. You see, now the file has more content that is added to the file. Okay, so that is about file. Now let us test demo file dot, it is in a write mode. Okay, then whoops, I'm deleting the content. That means the previous content which is already there is deleted. You see, now we are opening for reading, and then we are printing, so the content is deleted. Okay, so that is the functionality. If you want to create a new file in Python, use open method with the one of the following. X will create, A will append if the specified file does not exist. It will create the file if a file does not exist, right? If creates the file if the file does not exist. Okay, you can use any of these methods to create a new file. And you can also use delete. You can remove the file using the OS Linux commands where you delete, right? Like this, you can also import OS, and then you can delete the file from the program, but it is not recommended to delete the files. You can also delete folder. Okay, so that is all about. Now I want to actually teach you one more concept, okay, in Python learning. Let us use ChatGPT to learn file handling in Python. Can you help me to teach file handling in Python? So whatever we have learned, right, it is there. Okay, so to open the file, we can use open and then file name and read, and to close the file we can use file.close. Okay, and then reading from a file we can use with open as file and content file read print content. Okay, read line by line. With we are actually reading this as a file. Actually we can assign that one, and then for line in file print line dot strip. Okay, we are removing the you know spaces. Similarly, writing to a file, write file hello world and write file hello. This is a new line. Backslash we are keeping. It is actually printing that. Appending a file. So you need to open it as a and then it will actually. So you can use this file method to use that file parameters also, right? File functions. So binary mode, as earlier mentioned, read into the binary mode, okay, and then read it, and then managing files and directories. We discussed about that OS and rename, make directory, copying the file from one file to the other. So that is how. So can you help me with file reading and write in Python with a sample Python program? Okay, so now we have the file. So this has actually explained how do we create a sample input. So first step is in the text file input.txt in your program, create this input.txt, and then you can create a file manually or using Python. Create. See, this you can use to write into the file, but we have a we can actually do that manually. It is fine. And then now we will have a Python program to read. So first one is read file and file path, and we are opening that file as file, and we are reading and we are returning the content. And another function, write file with the file write as file, and then file dot write. And another one, for example, process content. This will actually convert it into upper. Now main function, okay, define main, and then input file is input.txt, read file, right? What is the read file? Read file will actually read the content and return, right? So read file as written, and we are printing that original content, right? This is the formatting way of printing that. We already know how to do it. Then we are actually converting that into uppercase, right? And then processed content. This one will print the processed content. Now write the processed content to the output. Now we are writing that into the output file. So output file name is output.txt, and then write file, and the file path, and then processed content. You see here this one. Okay, and then we are actually calling that main. So this is the sample Python program. So if you want to learn through ChatGPT also, you can ask the relevant question, and then you can ask into the prompt, and it will be able to give a lot of examples with for learning Python or any other programming language. Thank you. Hope this video is helpful. If you like it, keep a comment, and like, share, subscribe.